on, babies.
Boys, welcome to the show.
Richard, William.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course. You're always welcome here, especially on the Queen's time, which
especially when he's going to be on his phone the whole fucking time tonight.
The whole
I'm pulling
fucking
up the fucking email. Jesus.
The whole time. Look, the game's behind me, Bill. I'll move over once in a while, so you can catch the Red Sox. Before then, let us get to our opening takes. I'll start. Bullpen baseball fucking blows. Hashtag baseball is dead to me has been in full in flame since last year's 2020 debacle when they couldn't get the season started July 4th because of money, and ever before then because they've been killing their sport. But the statistics that are coming out now about playoff baseball, I sent you that article today. It was an hour and a half when the game was started in 1908. The playoff baseball has now moved to 3 hours and 38 minutes with all of the pitching changes. And outside of just the time of game, which I can kind of be okay with in the playoffs, to be honest with you, I've mentioned this on previous shows, just the robotic nature in which these managers are plugging in relievers every inning to 2 innings, and starters can't go past 5 innings at most. You were not even seeing starters get to the 3rd inning sometimes in these playoff games. It's just infuriating. It's not that it doesn't work. Clearly it works. It's just not a fucking good product. It's not fun to watch. It's boring and dumb. And just there's nothing to really sink your teeth into. It's like, ooh, Hansel Robles is coming in. Why do I give a fuck about Hansel Robles? I don't.
Yeah, Dodgers use 8 pitchers in a 9-inning game. They need to do something. The game's dying. The nerds are killing it. Limit pitching changes. Limit to 4.
Every sport has changed their rule to benefit the product. Football does it every single season. They change the rules. NBA has illegal defense. Hockey changes the rules like drastically every couple.
Yeah, they got rid of the center ice 2-line passing.
Yep. They changed the fucking review on the offside rule because it was stupid, and enough people bitched about it. People have been bitching about baseball for 30 years. So that's my opening take as we watch a lot of playoff baseball here at the Red Sox in it. This bullpen game bullshit is pissing me off, and Chris Sale's throwing a nice game tonight, and so is we got a perfect game going on for what's his name? Framber over there.
Framber Valdez, yeah.
So let's see how long they let those guys go. Imagine pulling Valdez with a perfect game in the 5th.
And the next batter, fucking dinger.
Yeah, and Sale's kind of rolling. I mean,
nerds.
That home run he gave up, I mean, that was
good pitch.
Way outside. It was a good pitch.
It's a Fenway home run.
Yeah, Jordan just got a hold of it.
So that's my opening take. I forget what you guys are. Anyone else going baseball, Bill?
Yeah, Diaz last night should not have been behind the plate in a championship game, and especially a big game like that. I mean, he's ranked 96th out of 99 umpires in accuracy and 88 out of 99 for consistency. I mean, you're in the bottom 4% of umpires right now for accuracy. You missed 21 balls and strikes. I didn't necessarily object to him missing so many. It was pretty even. It was 12-11 in the favor of the Red Sox, but I mean, it's still, you're missing 21 pitches. That's, I don't think it cost him the game, but it had a lot to do with it. And a guy like that should not be behind the plate in a big game. There's 6 other umpires on that field. He should not get one game. There should be no reason he's even on the field right now when you're ranked 96th and 88 out of 99 fucking umpires.
Yeah, there's no merit base there, that's for sure. And the biggest misses were against the Red Sox, even though it was even across the board. The 3rd inning strikeout call on JD Martinez, that was not even close. And then obviously the big one in the 9th inning with Eovaldi, which I had less of a problem with, honestly. That pitch was close. We'll talk about it. It was
a 1-2 pitch. At least come back.
Yeah. Raymond, you want to switch gears a little bit for your opening take?
Yes, please. Mine is the Celtics take. Tonight, the games begin for the Celtics. I was on the Fire Brad train for a very long time, and now it's Ime Udoka's turn to take reins of this team, and let's see if the whole Fire Brad thing is going to pay off for us. Obviously, he's already put Marcus Smart in his place, which I absolutely love. He's a no bullshit kind of coach, and that's a big step up from that G. Willikers coach that we had last year in Brad Stevens. So a whole new era begins tonight.
We'll see. Grant Williams is starting, so it might be the same old bullshit.
Well, it's because Josh Richardson's out, and who's out?
Horford's out.
Yeah, sure. Okay, we'll see. We'll talk about obviously the Sox dropping game 3. We got game 4 going on behind us. Celtics opening night, and also Patriots Jets. This is what happens, Bill Belichick. When you suck, you get fourth on the docket on a Wednesday show in Red Sox playoff baseball. You get fourth on the docket. Stop sucking, Patriots.
Thanks a lot, Patriots.
Thanks a lot, Patriots. Other than that, welcome to the Simple Mind Sports Show. Friday headlines, October 22nd. Welcome to the show. As always, our show is brought to you by White Birch Brewing. We're recording on Wednesday. The show's 2 days from now.
I
get the dates wrong quite often, but I do it in my head. The numbers just don't add up. What always adds up is White Birch Brewing in Nashua, New Hampshire, the best craft brewing in New Hampshire. Ray, address, please.
460 Amherst Street.
The good side of Amherst Street. Get on down to the brewery, check out their flights, get their pints, get their newest October beers. It is a good time for drinking beer. It's the best time to get on down to the brewery and do it, especially when they got flat screen TV and football season. Saturday, Sunday, it's all yours. Get on down there. If you can't, then get it at your local beer store, wherever you get it. Tell them the Simple Minds boys sent you. White Birch Brewing. SOX drop game 4. 9-2 in the ninth. Like you said, Bill, Las Diaz was the story or one of the stories coming out of that game. Obviously, going to the ninth inning, tied 2-2. Eovaldi is brought in after warming up. I think they probably wanted him for a closing situation, but
yeah,
you can get him for 2 innings there at least. Gets 2 men on base, a 1-2 count. Looks like the strike to get out of the inning. It's called a ball. Gives up the double to give up the go-ahead run. And then, which is not getting enough play, in my opinion, Cora sends out Martin Perez for the whole fucking thing to implode. Felt like another throwaway moment from Cora. Like, what's that? I don't know. Take it wherever you want from that game. That was my biggest second guess, honestly, was Martin Perez. Other than that, maybe pulling Pivetta. Looked like he had just gotten rolling. He kind of, not butchered, but pushed his way through those first couple innings. He wasn't as sharp as he was the last couple times we saw him, but by the time he got to the end of the fifth, he looked pretty dialed in. I would have sent him back out there. Obviously, the nerds say no. Technically, you could say it didn't hurt him, but I don't know. Whitlock gave up the one solo shot. He looked pretty sharp. If you can use him in the ninth instead of Eovaldi, I don't know. I just don't like bullpen baseball, like I said at the top. So I take it to you. What are the second guesses in a 9-2 loss? My first one is Martin Perez. Let Eovaldi close that inning and go into the bottom of the ninth down 1 instead of down 7.
No, my biggest second guess is Pivetta coming out, and you had ramifications a la Martin Perez pitching in the ninth. You went to Josh Taylor in the 6th inning where you had Pivetta rolling. He only had 65 pitchers, or 64 to be exact. There should have been the third time through the order. This is when you're starting going to the bullpen. But at that point in time, you have Pivetta rolling. Let him go out for the 6th. You had Ottavino behind Josh Taylor. Have Ottavino ready instead of Josh Taylor if there's a problem. You brought Taylor in to face the lefties. You didn't want Pivetta to face the lefties there to start the 6th. I believe is the heart of the lineup coming in. So you didn't really want to, especially Kyle Tucker, who's been, he had a big fucking 3-run jack in game 3. So that's why you bring him in, but he got 2 batters and gave up a hit, and you have to go to Ottavino. I mean, if you get Pivetta one more inning, you're using Josh Taylor in the 9th if it comes to that, or you're using him in the 7th or the 8th instead of going to Whitlock for 2. I think, Rich, you and I were going back and forth. I wanted Whitlock for 2 and Eovaldi. It's set up that way, but Whitlock, he's been shaky as late. He gave up a couple big hits in the Tampa series, and then obviously last night he tied it to Altuve, a fucking first pitch fastball right down the middle, and he cranked it out. Altuve 21 home runs career in the playoffs in 72 games. I mean, that guy hits fucking big home runs, and that's my second guess, where you could have had Josh Taylor, who's been pretty filthy on lefties this year, and instead you get stuck with Martin Perez. And it even goes back to the fucking roster. Say what you want about Austin Davis, but another lefty that I would probably trust more than Martin Perez, and you decided you want Sauer Mora and Darwinson Hernandez on the roster instead of going Matt Barnes and Austin Davis. That's another lefty that you needed in the bullpen that better coming in than Martin Perez has shown, especially when he hasn't pitched a lot in the last
let's be honest. Martin Perez has been useless since June.
Yeah.
Let's be honest about it. He's really been useless. And you talked me into it. I was trying to bury my lead a little bit and not sound too over the board with it. But yeah, taking Pivetta out there, 65 pitches. I mean, come on. Like, and the greater point of, well, the lineup sees you for the third time. How did he look against the lineup the first time through? Not that great. So
I text you, he was shaky.
What's
I'm like,
the
oh,
fucking
great
difference? Like, isn't that the opposite way of thinking? Like, the lineup's already seen him twice, and they looked okay against him, and he looked a little shaky against them. But by the fifth inning,
he's dialed in now.
He's got it going now. He's figured it out against this lineup. Like, that's just, it's too narrow-minded from the computer analytical aspect in that situation. And I think they've done it twice in this series. Evaldi game 2, he came out early. Obviously, they had the big lead, but they did it against the Rays series when Evaldi pitched. He came out early in the 5th when I thought he should have kept going against the Rays. It's a better example than when Evaldi came out against the Astros. But yeah, you're right, Bill. That's how dare us think about baseball in an old school fashion, that the longer your starter goes, the more options you have in the bullpen to close the game. But that's the idea there, basically.
What's the stat they have right now? Is that there's only through the whole playoffs 3 pitchers that have gone plus 7 innings or something like that?
There's one pitcher in the playoffs.
And it's the
Bill,
Giants
help me
pitcher,
out with
right?
the redhead on the Giants.
Giants,
right?
yeah.
Webb. He's the only pitcher to go
one.
6+ in the playoffs this year.
He did it twice or something like that.
He might have done it twice. I think the stat was this on Felger Maz. I think I heard it too. The stat was this year, 21% of starters are going 6+ in the regular season, where 2 years ago it was 35 and 8 years ago it was 60+. So the drastic decline of the Nerds taking over is evident, and mostly in this playoffs with only one starter has gone 6 innings or more.
Well,
That's,
you used to have these guys throw their arms out. Like,
just say what you want about it working. It just sucks to watch. It's boring. It's
just think, Rich. I think you brought up 13 or 14 complete games this year in the majors. 7 were no hitters, and 1 was a 7-inning no hitter. Bumgarner versus the Braves. That was a complete game. Think about that. Other than that, this is a joke. Like I'll reference this again. Tampa Bay has led the league since 2018 with bullpen usage at 56% of their innings coming from bullpens. They carry 2 starters.
These guys
on their ALDR rosters.
$30 million a year to go 5 innings.
He's at 70. He's at 79 pitches right now. I think he's coming out because Renfroe just grounded the double play on the inning. So I'm assuming you're going to bring Sale out right now for the 6th.
We'll see. This will be big live breaking news. Bill, you pay attention to that as we move on to the next point here, which for me is the lineup. It went cold. You were 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. A lot of that with 2 outs, I'll grant you, but still, you had
Sales back.
6. He's back in. Okay.
Yep.
Well, thank God.
Wow.
I guess when you get paid $30 million, they make you go pitch an extra couple.
So the guy that just came off of Tommy John surgery is going longer than any other pitcher in this playoffs right now for the Red Sox.
Can I
look good?
Push back on this again on the Tommy John surgery stuff and the number of pitches stuff. That's not historically how Tommy John patients have struggled. They've struggled with command and over the long haul fatigue, which we've seen from Chris Sale. So I get it. In August, you don't want him throwing 115 pitches in back-to-back starts. But right now, him going out there and throwing 100 pitches tonight, he's not going to blow his arm out. Like this idea
I didn't say that. I'm just saying it's funny that, Pivetta, you took him out after the 5th. You got Evaldi, you took him out after just dominating in game 2. But now we have Chris Sale, who is coming off of Tommy John, that we're all, we got to nurse him back. We got to do all this. And let him he's going the longest distance now for any Sox
and more so
Evaldi
made a month. So
that's what I think is funny.
Evaldi made it a 5 1/3. I wouldn't be surprised if Sale's there. He's pitched 7, 8, 9 hitters. So I believe he got 2 lefties. That's why you're going to bring him out for the 6th again. He's looked good.
It has nothing to do with Chris Sale. It has to do with
it's the Nerds. He's made one mistake, and it wasn't even a mistake. Again, even Alvarez took that out opposite field.
Chorus said that about the Danny Santana pinch hit. He said it was less about Danny Santana and more about the guy in the mound, which I just think is so fucking ass backwards, especially in the playoffs. It's ridiculous. So we've butchered that to death. Lineup went cold. Lineup looks like it's cold tonight. That's a problem.
Yeah, the Red Sox just got their first hit. They had 2 base runners. Valdez took 9 pitches to get out of the 5th inning. 6-4-3 double play by Renfroe, and then Verdugo grounded out with a runner on. Again, I mean, you talk about what were they, 0 for 10, 0 for 11, I believe, in runners and scorers position yesterday. They had runners on base 8 out of the 9 innings last night. The only runners they didn't have on was the 9th inning when they went 1-2-3. They had every opportunity to score some runs, and they were not coming up with big hits. It looks like I don't know if that had a lot to do with Diaz yesterday, because that strike zone was very inconsistent and very large. They were swinging at some bad pitches, but it looks like right now Houston, Javier came in, pitched 4 innings out of the bullpen last night, and completely and utterly shut the Red Sox down. And he was giving up base runner, walks, all that. They just didn't make him pay. What you saw in Game 2 and Game 3, where you're giving up walks, you had an error from Altuve that led to a grand slam from Schwarber. You didn't see it. You didn't see any timely hitting and no urgency. And again, I don't want to, you talk about Erod coming out after the Game 3 with the fucking wrist thing, Cora screaming at him. You don't want to say it gave him, kind of woke him up, but you put up a 9 spot or the 7 spot in the 9th inning. I mean, that game's close. There's a lot of second guessing that I could do with Alex Cora in this game too. Late 6th inning, I believe there was a runner on first, no outs. Bunt him over with Vasquez up on base. I thought that was a mistake with a 1-run lead. And again, just the way you handled your bullpen. Josh Taylor should not have been pitching in the 6th inning. You needed to save the lefty, the only good lefty you have on your team, for later in the game.
No, totally agree. I mean, that's all it is second guessing with this team on that game last night. You had a 2-1 lead into the 8th, right? That's when they tied it up in the 8th inning.
First pitch.
It just sucks. It just sucks with the second guessing with this team.
I mean, we could, with the other side of it is you could say, the Astros are a good team for a reason and they beat you. Nice, like you said, have a really nice performance out of the bullpen. He wasn't pitching bad, he wasn't pitching bad. So they beat you. Looking forward to tonight now with this game in the, what are we in the 6th?
6th inning, 1-0 Houston.
1-0 Houston. It's going to be tight. It's going to be a tight game all the way to the end. So you got to be able to come up with clutch and late. That's what it's going to come down to. And you have to win, because if you go down 3-2 and got to go back to Houston, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to talk about something? You chased Greinke after 2 innings, 2-run homer by Bogarts, and that was it. You think you're chasing another starter who didn't get 9 outs for Major League Baseball record 5 straight games or 4 straight games? They didn't get 9 outs. Valdez is the first guy to do it for Houston. And you chase Greinke and then get completely and utterly shut down by Javier, and then the rest of the bullpen, like, it's just Chris Walker, Altuve. Fuck it.
Felt like they took their foot off the gas.
He does it like full sentence. Like he has a point of fucking sale blocked Altuve.
He's got half a Rain Man brain on the game and half on us. But when it's baseball, he can pull it off.
Oh, yeah,
still have to brain more than you two.
His eyes will go fucking white like Raiden.
I'm not gonna lie, I have not really followed the Celtics outside of the headlines we've seen.
Well, that's the preseason NBA. Who fucking follows the NBA until January? Speaking of that, let's talk about the Celtics opening night. No, any final thoughts on the Sox here? Do we all agree if they lose tonight, it's over?
Yep.
If you got to go back, does Evaldi?
Nothing. Go ahead. No, I don't know. It's first and third. No out. I think if they lose, they're over. I don't trust their urgency to win on the road. Like winning Game 2 on the road, yeah, it was nice. You put up a big number there when you chase Garcia, but you're seeing it now, and you play better than you have in years at home, and now you're potentially going to lose 2 in a row at home, and now you're on the ropes in Houston. I don't think they can pitch their way into it. I mean, I don't trust the bullpen right now. Whitlock,
you got to slug your way out of it. You got to hope that your lineup picks up, and at that first to third there, as we're watching, Kyle Schwarber just dropped the ball on first base. So
I can do that.
And for anybody
that's an area.
This goes back to the deadline talk, and I'm not going to shit on Kyle Schwarber. He's been huge for them. His bat.
I think he's hurt. I think he got hurt yesterday too.
That hamstring when he on that bad swing.
Yeah, they said it was
dropped this because he was going to try and catch it and throw to third, but so he just took his bind off it and his eye off it. There's been enough plays with Kyle Schwarber at first base that should be an out. There's a big difference between 1 out and no outs with men on first and third. So, the deadline acquisition, it's not a win. It's still not a win. Okay. Especially if Kyle Schwarber
no decision,
another one of those blurbs.
And this is why I hate baseball. You just saw a bunt by Brantley behind Altuve, and then you see fucking Altuve makes it a third because there's no one covering third because you have a fucking shift to the left side. This is what's ruining baseball. You should have a runner on first and second there instead of first and third because you have zero. He went first to third on a fucking bunt to the left side. This is, again, the overshifting, the bullpen work, all that shit. And this is why baseball is fucking dying.
Yeah, there's a lot wrong that needs to be corrected.
It takes almost 4 hours to
Okay,
play a
well,
game.
hey, prayers up for the Red Sox tonight. Let's see. Let's hope.
Second
Let's see if they
and-
can pull it
second
out.
and
And you know
third
what?
one out.
Little golf clap. Little golf clap for Chris Sale because a lot of people didn't think that he could get past the third, and he pitched a good game tonight. So,
Oh,
yeah.
I can't wait for this because if he gives up a jack here to Alvarez to make it fucking 4-0, it's you should have pulled Sale after 5. Why didn't you follow what you've been doing? Blah 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 blah. This is the shit. It's just like I don't
There's
know.
a double. So, oh no, foul ball. Ooh, thank God.
Those are going to cardiac.
Okay, you can tell we're on edge a little bit and a little bit distracted. So if you're on edge a little bit distracted, why don't you try Back to Basics CBD down in Rhode Island? Go to backtobasicsllc.com. You don't have to go all the way to Rhode Island to get it. You just get it on the internet like everything
Oh,
else.
that wasn't a foul ball. It's 3-0.
Was it a home run?
No, he hit a double.
Oh, it was ground rule. I just saw Verdugo stop going after the ball.
Oh no, it was 2-run double. Alvarez now 3 for 3. He's done all the damage against Sale.
So we're
Should have
definitely
taken him
gonna
out. Should have fucking taken him out. God damn it.
Should have listened to the nerds.
We're definitely going to need a little bit of Dr. Tom's remedy tonight. Dial it up, Pam, Aaron, Ray. Order us some happy juice from backtobasicsllc.com. And if you do, you get a private
He's done.
personalized email from Dr. Tom himself to talk about your CBD and medical marijuana needs and wants and education. Number one educator on this stuff in New England. So again, go to backtobasicsllc.com. That's BAK, the number 2, basicsllc.com. All right, but why don't you wall away in your Sox woes as Ray and I talk a little Celtics here. Opening night in New York. Kemba Walker with the Knicks. They'll be facing him again. Nothing but good things to say from for the Celtics about the ex-Celtic Kemba Walker. But tonight,
his
no
knee falls off.
Horford with COVID and no Josh Richardson with a migraine. Josh
Pussy.
Richardson kind of digging himself a hole here in
Is
Celtics.
it a migraine or is he not vaccinated?
Well, this whole anti-vax thing from Josh Richardson might start rearing its head earlier than
I think he has to be vaccinated, doesn't he? Because play in Boston. No, that's not a mandate. Because
Are
if
they
you have
playing
to
in Boston or are they playing in New York?
Playing in New York. They're playing in New York tonight.
You have to be vaccinated to play in New York.
Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, he got a migraine today.
That's a
Ooh,
nice
that's
little
good.
conspiracy there,
That's a good
Get a
point.
life, loser.
I didn't know he wasn't vaccinated. I thought the whole team was.
Oh,
no,
he's Team
I'm
Kyrie, baby. He's team-
pretty sure. No, they said that the Celtics were one of the teams that were definitely not fully vaccinated, and actually one of the lesser vaccinated teams in the
Oh,
league.
just like the Red Sox. Must be a Boston thing.
I don't know what the fuck is going on with Boston sports teams and their
New England
vaccinations.
people.
Isaiah
New England people
Wynn-
and vaccinations. It's just
Isaiah Wynn wasn't vaccinated on the Patriots, and he missed almost 2 weeks.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever. We don't have to get on the vax talk, but I like the conspiracy there, Ray. Because I was gonna say, look, as a guy new to Boston, hasn't played a game yet, do not tell the fans that it's a migraine. They're just gonna call him a pussy and hate him for the rest of the year. Tell him he's straighten a hammy or something. Come up with something other than a fucking headache.
Yeah.
Because even though anyone who's had like a serious migraine, it is fucking debilitating, but you don't get away with it in the media. Like you're gonna sit out because you have a headache, you pussy.
Pussy.
Danny and Tomlinson.
Maybe he's on his period.
There you go. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Take some Midol, baby. Pop that shit in. You'll be fine.
Raymond, let's
Yes, sir.
what are you looking for this year? I gave you my key points here. Tell me what you agree or disagree with if you have anything else. Number one thing I want to see is consistency in offense. Watching this team play offense the last couple of years has been infuriating. Absolutely infuriating to watch. Last year was due to the lack of talent. Years past was due to the lack of clutch and late, and just lack of really cohesive
Experience.
ball movement and just real basketball. And what I would really like to see, RIP, Tommy Heinsohn, is run. They got guys that can get up and down the court. Dennis Schroeder, Time Lord, Jaylen Brown. These guys can run. And they're young. So run guys out of the fucking gym. And if Jason Tatum needs to take 45 seconds to set up his step back 3-pointer, then let him ISO on his half court stuff.
Every third play.
He's very motivated this year from the snub last year that basically cost him $30 million or whatever the fuck it was.
I'm sure he is, and he's gonna want to improve that free throw percentage, which hopefully he does. Speaking of that, thanks for the segue, Bill. The Jays need to establish us as leaders on the court. I don't know what it looks like off the court. We're not gonna be able to tell unless Marcus Smart gets traded. But on the court, I don't want. I like you'll see it. You'll know it when you see it. You understand what I'm trying to say? If they establish themselves as the guys on this team, you'll know it when you see it. And that means coming up big in late situations, calling guys out, demanding the ball, playing defense. You'll just know it when you see it. And I don't think we've totally gotten that from these guys in the past couple of years, but this is the year they need to make that step.
You seem some glimmer of hope with these guys, that one monster month for Jason Tatum, and all that stuff, but you want to see that consistently throughout all 82 games this year.
I don't think you're going to get it out of Tatum, truthfully. And I know I just mentioned the snub of last year, the All NBA, that cost him some money. To me, that looks like a selfish player. You harped on it for half the fucking summer that you got snubbed and you cost money.
100% of that league's selfish players.
I don't care. And look at the true selfish guys aren't real leaders. Say what you want about LeBron builds a team. He's still a fucking leader on, you know what I mean? Like the superstars are leaders. And right now, Jason Tatum is not trending in that direction to me. I think Jaylen Brown seems to be a more better leader than good English there by me.
Yeah, great English. Grammar guru, do you approve?
Hey.
No, he seems like he's a better leader than Tatum just from the stuff you hear off the court, with the whole movement they had last year, driving down to his home city, all that other stuff. He just seems to me he does more for the community and more things with the team than I see Jason Tatum does. I mean, Jason Tatum's rocking a fucking Kobe Bryant jersey, I believe, today walking into New York. There's I just don't like it. And I said he was a superstar before you guys. You guys were always budding superstar. I backed off that take based off his play last year, but I think
Rich
the play
100% now.
No,
I think the play is there. I think the play is there, but the leadership qualities out of Jason Tatum are not there. And that's what you need to see.
Your point is taken. I think Jason Tatum can be the best player on a team. It's going to take him a little bit longer yet to really to learn how to be. I don't mean to sound corny, but a man and how to communicate and do those type of things and quote unquote lead. I think we saw it out of Kevin Durant. Say what you want on the Olympic team and the struggles that they had, but they went and got gold, and Kevin Durant fucking dragged them there. And what Kevin Durant did with the Nets, a shoe size away from beating the Bucks, who ended up winning the championship. I mean, I've been hard on Kevin Durant and saying he chased. I think that move to Golden State was one of the biggest pussy moves in the NBA history. But he's growing on me in terms of a competitor and a leader, and he's 33.
He kicked Kyrie Irving off the Nets. That's why he's growing on you.
Well, I mean,
that's not fucking bullshit, people here.
Look,
that's a perfect reason to pull him back in.
Two enemies is my friend. What's that fucking saying? Either way, shut up, Ray. I'm just saying. If Jason
the enemy of what is it? The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. There it is. Thanks you, Bill. And
Bill died. Bill died. Someone homered.
4-0 Astros. So
second and third, 2 outs off your boy.
Bavetta?
No, the other one.
Evaldi?
Ryan Razier.
Oh good God, I hate that guy. He's in the Kyrie boat for no reason whatsoever. Anyway, Jesus Christ. I understand what you're saying, Bill. But on the court, I do think that, and through the preseason, I may have to back off this take, but I just thought Jason Tatum would take a leap on the court in terms of his play, his offensive play, and being able to lead just by, what he does on the court. We'll see. That's what I expect.
Adoko be the leader without a player? Like, you look at Brad Stevens, he was a blah blah blah.
No.
Okay, just ask you. Don't have to fucking no, that's what I'm saying. Like, Brad Stevens wasn't the guy to do it because the players didn't respect him. Now they got a guy you're seeing, the longest tenured Celtic, who everyone should be the captain. They bench his ass, suspend him, sends a message right away. Could he be the leader if Jason Tatum doesn't ascend to that position?
There's a problem with the Boston Celtics organization. They make their coaches too big. They make them out to be too big than they actually are. Doc Rivers, what has he done since he left Boston? That wasn't Doc Rivers. Rivers fucking championship.
I like what he's doing against Philip for Ben Simmons, though.
We'll get there. If we can ever fucking get through this segment, we'll get there. The last things I want to see from the Celtics team, which I think this one's guaranteed, we're going to see good defense. There's your Ime Udoka contribution. He's going to make these guys play defense. Right?
I have one.
Okay, well, let me finish these two, and then you can go. Okay. I want to see a jump from Robert Williams, a jump and play, and I want to see a jump from Aaron Nesmith, who apparently in practice just broke the Celtics records for most three-pointers made without missing 2 in a row.
He's starting tonight,
like
isn't he?
700 in a row or something like that.
He's starting, right? Smart's on the bench, or is he starting now that Richardson's not? I don't know what the starting lineup is.
No, he's not starting. It's Smart, Jalen, Tatum, Grant Williams, and Robert Williams.
Whoa, I hate Grant Williams. And Marcus Smart honestly wasn't supposed to start until the migraine. So someone got his period heavy flow at noontime today. Now he's out.
Okay, here's another thing I'd like to see. I'd like to see Marcus Smart be put in his goddamn place and on that bench. I'd like to see Dennis Schroeder in the starting lineup with Al Horford. I think that's your best starting lineup. I mean, who are we to say? But at the beginning of the season, if it's Schroeder, Josh Richardson, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Al Horford, I like that starting lineup. You got defense, creativity, offense. I like that starting lineup.
I like Schroeder a lot starting because he's a true point guard. You haven't seen it. He's a better scorer, like a Rondo. He's like in that Rondo.
He's a Rondo,
mold.
but
he's
a
true
scorer.
point guard. Yeah. And it establishes Marcus Smart as his fucking role. You come in and you play defense, and you are energy off the bench. That's his best.
Marcus Smart could be a great 6th man. I think.
Yes,
another run probably.
6-0 Astros.
Quickly, Ime stated this when he came in. Quit the bitching. No more bitching at the refs. I want to see.
I like it.
Tonight's the real test. Let's see if Tatum fucking abides by this, and if he tells these guys to shut the fuck up and play basketball. I would love to see that tonight.
Well, he benched Grant Williams in the last preseason game for it.
That's preseason. This is the real thing.
I understand. I'm just saying. There's been a couple key
How infuriated were we last year with Tatum every fucking drive?
What
the fuck? Where's the call? Please, God, just fucking play basketball.
That's the message that needs to be sent, and it needs to be sent in the first fucking quarter. If Tatum's bitching every time he drives to the hoop and doesn't get a call, sit his ass down and show you're the man, not Brad Stevens that let this shit happen. There's a changing of the guard. We all fucking wanted this, and this guy needs to come in and show that he's the fucking guy for the job and send a message right away. You did it with Smart. Now you do it with Tatum, or Grant Williams did it with him, benching him. But it's not a guy like Tatum. Grant Williams is a guy that barely fucking plays, and let's be real, shouldn't be in the rotation at all. I know, but I'm just saying.
I will say this about Grant Williams. I liked Grant Williams until last year.
I know you did.
He sucked last year, but I liked him before that. I thought he was a solid contributor. Let's see if he can prove me right.
He has the body of Ray if Ray was as tall.
Good, congratulations, Ray. All right, boys, let's finish up with a little Patriots. Thanks, Belichick. Thanks for sucking, man. We got to finish shows with the Patriots now. Unbelievable.
I couldn't get that, Bill. Thank you.
Patriots, Jets. Let's be honest. If they lose this game, I don't know. What do we do? Throw out our Patriots?
Would you be surprised if they lost this game?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'll be surprised if they lose to the Jets.
16 players out are limited in practice today, including 4 defensive starters. Hightower and Gacho both missed. Jalen Mills is still banged up. Brandon Bolden was out. The team, they're walking wounded right now. Your offensive line's a fucking joke. You're a better team on paper, but I just don't see it. Zach Wilson's playing better. I thought he looked good, against Tennessee. He came back, got a win there. I mean, he kind of went on a bye. You haven't seen him in 2 weeks, but that's still – I still think you should. I think the spread's
you guys
5.5
are
or
lying
6.
to yourself. If they lose to the Jets, you will be surprised and pissed.
I'll be pissed. I'll boycott them for a few weeks.
They will. I don't think they'll lose to the Jets. I think they can come back. Look, they're out of they've shot themselves in the foot and they're out of the playoffs. But it's not because they lost to Dallas and the Bucks, who are 2 of the best teams in the NFL. It's because they lost to Dolphins and the Saints, who are 2 of the worst teams in the NFL. Closer to the beginning of the season.
Not the Saints, but yeah, I mean that's
the Saints are mediocre at best. And they just didn't come to play that game. And the Dolphins, they fumbled it away. And they're a couple games out. The Jets are a 2-16, 2 and damn it, what's that math? 2-15. The Jets are a 2-15 organization right now. The Patriots are a 500 ball club. They should win this game. They will win this game.
My head was in your mind when you made that number of predictions.
Your head was in my mind.
My face was in
my head's in your fucking mind now, isn't it?
Tuesday night at Irene's house.
What did I write here? Sorry. Okay. I started looking ahead because I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to be 3-4. And what does that mean moving forward? Let's take this at a 5-game clip. Normally you do 4, but I did 5 because the 5th game on the schedule for the Patriots is the Falcons, which is going to take a win, which makes this all look better. So I went the next 5 games out, and that's 5 games before you see the Bills. And the only reason I put this up here is because the Bills and McDermott and Josh Allen stupidly lost that Monday Night Football game going for it on 4th
Why don't
down.
you play for a tie? I don't understand why I don't. Oh, you know why? Never mind. I take it back because they couldn't stop fucking Derrick Henry. That's why they're trying to win the game. Derrick Henry ran all over him. That 76-yard touchdown run after they contained him pretty much in the first quarter. So, dude, was
I had to watch
disgusting.
that 3 times. I thought that
it wasn't even
like
like
slow. Doesn't he look like he runs real slow, but he's like fast because he's. So
I thought someone sped up the replay when he broke to the second level and split the safeties and the D-backs. I thought someone put it on fast forward. He turned on the Jets that quick. Like how?
It wasn't even like an impressive run. He broke one tackle and it was like straight sprint. No, get him. He leads the league in rushing. He has 10 touchdowns in fucking 6 games. He has more rushing yards after contact than the number 2 running back in the standings, which I think is Ezekiel Elliott or Nick Chubb was number 2. More rushing yards after contact. The guy. That's why Buffalo went for it.
Do you agree with the call to go for it?
No, I would have went for overtime and hope you get the ball back. You just put up 34. You would have put up 34. You would have put up 30. You had at that point, you kicked the field goal to tie the game. You're 34 points on Tennessee. Hope you get the ball back. Allen had 335 yards. He was moving the ball all game. You know what I mean? So it's like take your chances with your offense. You still had a decent defense, and just take your chances and make Ryan Tannehill beat you. Do everything you can to stop Derrick Henry. That was just a stupid.
Sorry to interrupt you, Bill. I kicked the field goal there because even if you get in the 4th down, you still got to score to win the game, and that's your objective is to go for it so you have a chance to win the game. Well, you still got to score to win the game, and you haven't done that in three chances at that same position on the field. So, what your mindset there is only, well, we don't want to give the ball back to Tennessee if we go to overtime. If that's the only thing you're not playing for, like, you know what I'm saying? If
that's coaching scared, that's something teams do against the Patriots. They're coaching scared.
Used to.
Get the
Used
points.
to, not now.
Get the points. Get the points. Anyway, either way, the execution was shit. Josh Allen went backwards to go forward. Bad quarterback sneak there. That's a long way of saying there's still only 2 games up in the standings on the Patriots, and they play each other in 5 weeks, and this is what that's going to look like. The Patriots have the Jets, Chargers, Panthers, Browns, and Falcons. Yes or no, they'll be 3-2 in that run?
Yes.
No.
I think that yes, because Cleveland
be 5-0, Ray.
Mm-hmm. Well done, Richard. You know me well, baby.
You can potentially go forward one, and that's putting a lot of faith in. I think you're beating the Jets, losing to the Chargers because I think they're disgusting. And if Dallas walked up and down the field, Justin Herbert's going to do the exact same. You're beating Atlanta. Carolina right now has come back to earth, but getting Stephon Gilmore back potentially next week is big. I still think you could beat them just because I don't trust Sam Darnold against a Belichick because he sees ghosts. And then again, the Cleveland, that whole team is hurt. Chubb's out, Hunt's out. That's a winnable game. If they play up to their expectations, because we all agree they're better than they should be, you're 2 or 3 plays away. You want to throw moral victories out, Ray, which you've done a couple times, Tampa and Dallas. You're 2-3 plays legitimately away from being, what are they?
Yeah, I get it.
4-2. So if you play up to expectations, it's a very real possibility you could go 4-1 in that stretch. I think the Chargers are the only team that you're going to have a problem really beating, and because I don't think they can stop Justin Herbert.
Okay, now let me ask you this, Raymond. Here's the Bills' next 5 opponents. And before I do this, let me set this up. Last show, we said the Patriots were dead. They won't make the playoffs because the wild card is unattainable. You got to pass 4 teams. And we said that was probably not passable, probably not going to happen. At best, the Patriots are a 9-10 win team, and you're going to need 11 to pass the teams ahead of you. The only reason we're talking about this is because you have 2 games left against the Bills. Maybe you can catch them in division as opposed to the wild card. However, listen to these next 5 fucking games for the Bills. Dolphins win. Jags win. Jets win. Colts win. Saints win. So The Saints, maybe you give the Saints.
Colts.
Can you look
Colts.
this up? Are they
Maybe.
playing in New Orleans or are they playing in Buffalo?
What week is it?
Raymond, just fucking look it up.
Bill's
I am
schedule.
looking over.
Google Bill's schedule.
No, I think they can lose to the Colts, but I mean, you're looking at 4-1, 5-0.
Well, if that's the case, if both Pats and Bills go 4-1, then you're going into that first matchup with them down
It's at
to
Buffalo.
Win.
Okay,
Where's the Colts game?
Let's go Colts.
That's what I was saying. Which
right.
game were you asking for?
New Orleans.
Oh, New Orleans. I'm sorry. That was the Colts game. Give me a second. Keep going.
It's the next game. You can't just scroll down.
Doesn't work.
This is what we do with your mother on Grooming Day. Look. We're scrolling.
We
Look,
gotta
It's
Ray,
in New
look.
Orleans. It's in New Orleans on Thursday
flicking
night.
her inverted
It's
clip.
Thursday night football though. That's a short week.
Let's go Saints. Anything can happen Thursday night. Let's call them both 4-1 to be optimistic. You go into the first matchup against the Bills, down 2 games. One more look up, Ray. Is the first matchup in Buffalo or in New England? Bills.
It's in Buffalo because
Buffalo.
you have a late
Monday night football.
yeah, you have a late
All right,
home
well, that
game.
fucks up my agenda, so let's
At
forget we said that.
9:15.
Monday Night Football.
Wait, what?
Let's say they're both going in there. Patriots are down. They're 2 games back, and they can sneak out a win.
You're an idiot.
Yeah, you're an idiot, Ray. They sneak out a win.
Disagree.
It doesn't, now we're looking at a whole different season.
Fuck yeah. If you can sneak out a win, if you can split the series with Buffalo, you have a chance at the division still.
I think 4-1's a real possibility, but I think 3-2, honestly, for the Patriots in that stretch.
And think about it.
Buffalo. I see going 5-0, and I picked them. I think we did our win-loss. We had them at 11-5 or whatever. I picked them to lose to Buffalo twice. I don't think you're going to match up. And if you get a Josh Allen offense that's kind of rolling, I mean, again, they put up 31 points against Tennessee last week. They put up a lot of fucking points. You couldn't stop Dallas. I think that offense is just as good as Dallas is in the way Josh Allen has been playing. I just don't think you're going to beat Buffalo. I just don't think the division is in reach. I just think you got to hope you can get a wild card. I don't think you're going to catch Buffalo. Maybe that's me. Maybe that's me overvaluing how good I think Buffalo is. But again, Josh Allen's still 1, 2, 3 for MVP votes now. Maybe
No, you're not. They're very good, and the Patriots not very good.
Quickly.
Trying to shed. Hold on, Ray. I'll let you go in a second. I'm just trying to shed a little bit of hope on this season for you, Ray. You homer. I'm trying to shed a little bit of hope on this. They go 4-1. You maintain the 2-game. You're down 2 games to the Bills. There's you've opened up some possibilities to get to the playoffs. Is all I'm trying to say.
We almost split it last year with Cam Newton. If you would have held on to the ball, we would have beat Buffalo last year, and that was with Josh Allen having an MVP type season. So you have a Mac Jones who has more confidence going into Week 13. Yeah, I definitely think we can beat Buffalo in Buffalo.
Actually, the Bills are better this year, though.
I think so too.
Their
I think we're
defense is
better. Do you think
is-
we're better with Mac Jones or Cam Newton last year?
We're better. Patriots are better.
I still don't think Mac Jones wins that game last year.
It's a different team. Well, it's also a different conversation. Let's do this real quick one more time. We've done this in multiple periods throughout this season, but it's good to refresh. And what I want to do is go through the rest of the Patriot season and give a win-loss and see where we end up. Okay. Off the top of your head, don't think about it. Here we go. Jets.
Win.
Are you marking this down?
No, I'm trying to find a pencil. I'm sorry.
Every show, you got to do it.
Go ahead.
Jets.
Win.
Chargers.
Loss.
Win. What do you say, Rich? You're designing vote.
Loss.
Okay.
Panthers.
Win.
Win.
Win. Browns.
Win.
I'm going win.
I'm going to go win too. I don't believe in the Browns.
Well, and they're banged up, and the Patriots at home, even though you're 0-4
It's a month
at
from
home.
now, though. They might get healthy in a month.
Baker's got
Falcons.
a torn labrum.
Win.
That should be a win. I believe it's on the road too, but I still think that should be a win.
Win. Titans.
Loss. You can't stop
Loss.
Derrick Henry. He's going to have 300 yards at halftime.
400.
Oh my God, he's so good.
Bills.
Loss.
Win.
Loss.
All right.
Colts.
Win.
This is
I
in
think-
Indy.
I think you're beating the Colts.
Okay, win. Bills.
Loss.
Win. Win.
Loss.
All right.
Jags.
Win.
Win.
Loss. No. Urban Meyer will be fired by then. Finish the season with the Dolphins.
Win.
Yeah, I'll go win.
I think is Deshaun Watson playing?
Ooh, fuck! I forgot about that. No,
No, he won't be. He'll
He
be
raped too many girls.
commissioner's list. I'll go win. How many do we get?
7 wins, 4 losses.
All right, so you're 9-8 team. You're not making the playoffs.
Nope.
And that I think that's a real possibility. You know,
Honestly, you're probably closer to 8 and 9 team than a 9 and 8 team, because I think between that Panthers and Browns, you're going to lose one of those games.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. And
I think you're going to lose one of them.
And I think you're going to beat Atlanta too. But if that offense gets hot, you can't stop Calvin Ridley and who's that fucking tight end they just drafted? I mean, he's Kyle Pitts. They're playing good, and Matt Ryan's still Matt Ryan.
Okay, so all that being said, that's just this year. Let us try and end on a positive note if we can. I don't know what your answer to this is going to be. Are they building to something? So obviously, Mac Jones is a solid building block. Say what you want about him. People want to put, they want to put comparisons on everybody. And Drew Brees has been the one that's been popping up. That I'm not saying he's a Hall of Fame quarterback, but if you put Drew Brees in if he stayed in San Diego, Drew Brees is not Drew Brees. He's not with Sean Payton.
Or if he went to Miami.
Or if he went to Miami, right?
Nick Saban said no.
He's probably good. He probably makes some Pro Bowls. He probably makes some playoff runs because he's that good, but he's not that special. Sean Payton had a lot to do with that. Is that the type of player that we can be okay with Mac Jones being? I don't need an answer to that. I'm just saying that he's a good building block and we can shoot, and Patriots can shoot for that. What else is going on with this team? Are they building towards something? They got some good talent. I think they have good talent. I think they have a couple good young players, specifically on defense. But is the coaching staff in it? Is the nepotism too much? Is the raping of this coaching staff for the past, call it 10 years, run its course? And the retreads of McDaniels and Patricia's and Belichick's and Mayo's even, is it just too much? Is the whole thing just run its course? Or do you think they're building towards something that can be considered competitive in the next, call it 3 to 5 years, which is probably all Belichick has left?
Yeah, they're building for something, but I mean, spending $250 million, I mean, you're going to be in cap jail pretty soon too. So I don't know what the end game is. I like what Mac Jones did, drafting Mac Jones. He is the future, but in the next 3 to 5 years, what kind of money you're going to have and what kind of players you're going to be able to go get to help support Mac Jones.
Last year, it seems like you were trying to build something, but again, you look at a lot of those contracts are 2-3 year deals. In there, it's all money up front. So you can kind of get out of those deals early. And it just seems like you spend money on the wrong guys. You're trying to, a lot of those signings, honestly, outside of Matt Judon. I think that was obviously clearly the best signing is 6.5 sacks. Chase Winovitz led the team last year with 5.5, and it's 6 games right now. So I just think that's a nice piece, but the tight ends were short terms. Even Jonnu Smith with 4 years, but it really looks like a 2-year deal. Aguilar, Bourne, all these guys. It just seems like they were more of a fix a shitty team that you had last year. I think they were just short, fixes. You're building a little bit in the draft. So I guess you can lean towards you're building something through the draft, but not so much, in my opinion, in free agency.
It's a quick thing,
and you're also go ahead.
Used to be a destination when Brady was here. If you keep having losing seasons, if we go 8 and 9, last year we weren't a winning team. No one's going to want to come here. This isn't going to be a destination. You're going to be going through the Walmart bargain bin DVD rack to see what the fuck you can get for Mac Jones, and that's not going to be something that's going to help him, obviously.
Yeah, and you want to talk about purging the coaches. Cole Popovich, another offensive line coach that kind of succeeded Scarnecchia, just quit the team because of the vaccination. And then Irvin Fears is out after this year. I believe this is probably going to be his last year. Ivan, what is it? Irvin? God, I always do that. Ivan Fears. I mean, it looks like he's gone too. That's another guy that's been there for a long fucking time. He's coached these running backs for a long time. He's out. At what point, you could only handle so much of purging. Bill can only do so much. And like the thing with Bill is he likes to bring all these young guys up that are attached to somewhere. The McDaniels, the Patricias, Brian Flores is the world, Eric Mangini's, all these young coaching assistants that work their way up. At what point in time is that too much for him and too much for him to handle and too many spread around the coaching staff? At some point, you might want to think about bringing in some outside players. Not outside coaches. Even Troy Brown is going to be a fucking running back coach, and he was a wide receiver and a punt returner. So it's like some of that, a lot of first-time coaches, his kids, Gerard Mayo, just inexperienced guys you're bringing to the staff, and you're seeing it. Stupid coaching decisions, especially on defense. Dallas game, Tampa, all these names, special teams, 2 punt blocks this year. When the fuck does that ever happen? And that could have swung the game, a game that you ultimately lost against Dallas this weekend. So that there's a lot of factors of what the Patriots are doing, and I don't think a lot of them are good outside of trying to build around Mac Jones.
All valid points, but I disagree.
Thank you.
They are building towards something. Because you're a handful of plays away from being a playoff team right now. So when I look at that and I look at the talent and I look at the coaching, which honestly is my biggest question mark for a lot of what you just said, Bill and Ray, it doesn't seem like there's a ton of depth there in the coaching staff. But when you look at it in the margin of error that they have to squash, and considering all of that, you have a rookie quarterback who's not necessarily losing you games and should hypothetically only get better and reach a bar in the next couple of years. I think that means you're building in a 2 to 3 year little sample here with Belichick in this nucleus to do something. I don't know if it's a Super Bowl. I mean, we haven't seen a Super Bowl run without Brady since Parcells and Bledsoe, and before then was a long time. So it's going to be hard to tell what looks like a Super Bowl here for a while. But I think they are building towards something. I think you're seeing incremental improvements every week, except for that Saints week. They took a step back. Every other week, they've basically made incremental improvements. They're just not what we're used to seeing. I mean, let's face it, it's a rebuilding process. And we want more than that. We expect more than that. And Belichick's getting paid more than that to not have a losing season. And they shouldn't. They're good enough to not have a losing season. But I think it's very, very possible next year they come in and they are leaps and bounds better than what they were this year, which was leaps and bounds and bounds and bounds better than what they were last year. So I do believe they are building towards something. Man, probably just a positive, naive spoke that I'm trying to compel on you because the Red Sox are losing 6-0, and I don't want you to kill yourself. So keep that in mind.
Hey, Bill, Sox are losing 6-0. Kill yourself.
Hold on, let me aim the towers in Goffstown real quick.
Yeah. Don't worry, Ray. The Celtics start in 10 minutes. This has been the Simple Mind Sports Show. Friday headlines, October 22nd. We
Bruins too
on Sunday for social hour.
When I remind, I've just put a reminder on my phone.
Thank you. And go Bees.
Go Bees.
Go Seas.
This might be a 3-monitor night down here.
Ooh.
I got in-laws and my mother and everybody coming. I got a full house of olds tomorrow through the weekend. I'm just have to start getting loose and stay loose for the rest of.
Make sure there's no milk in the house.
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go out. I gotta hit the store.
Yeah.
Yeah, drain your cabinets. Oh, baby's out of food. Gotta go.
Wait.
Oh yeah, titties.